Wait for this thing to tell me we're live. All right. So we're live, and I am here to talk about right now today the best leads in the business. Hands down, I got one of my good buddies, Philip Vincent, here. And if you're looking for the best leads in the real estate investing business, you're going to want to listen to this show. You're going to pay attention to what we have going on here. I'm not usually this excited. In fact, the first time I spoke to Philip Vincent, I didn't really know him very well. I always try to call you by your last name, dude, because you got two first names. But since that interview, he's become a really good friend. I'm really excited about what they have going on. And so hands down, the best leads in the business. We're going to jump right into it. So what are they, man? When you're talking about the best leads in the business, how did you stumble across this? Why do you think it's important for people to know about it? And then we'll get into talking about the best way to get these leads and something you have going on for them. So let's talk about it real quick. What do you got?
Yeah, so I've been in real estate 22 years. I will not bore you with that story, but 10 years ago, I had the mandate of trying to find for every lead that we pulled in via direct response, pay-per-click, Facebook, or, all the direct mail, bandit signs, all the lead sources out there. For everyone we would do by paying for it, can we do another one through relationships? And I didn't know if I could do that, right? And so I went down the normal streams of other realtors and other wholesalers. That was easy, that everybody thinks about that. But I started to really look at who was I buying from? What is that? Can I tell a stereotypical story about who I'm buying from? And, it kind of went like this, dad died 8 years ago. Mom's been doing the best she can. She just fell down. And now the adult children had to come back into town to help her get, it's crisis management to help her find the best care. And in that moment, they realized they need to sell the house. And so I said to my partner, is anyone going right to the senior living communities and trying to work with them? And he said, no, you should do that. And so 10 years ago, I just started walking in the front door, and I'm here to tell you guys right now, that's not how you do it. I used to walk in the front door and be like, hey, I'm Philip Vincent, and I buy houses from seniors, and I'm an investor, I'm a realtor, all this stuff. That's not what they want to hear. And so I knew the leads were too good to stop trying. And so I kept overcoming. I kept putting my foot in my mouth, but I kept learning. And so I've created this thing called Mom's House. That's what we're talking about today. Why they're the best leads. There's 6 reasons. I'm going to date myself here, but I'll take a Pepsi challenge with anybody on their leads. There's 6 reasons why they're the best, and I'm really excited to share them with your listeners. The first one is that these families need to sell their house versus want to sell their house. So like a lot of times people are doing cold calling today. When you call somebody up cold calling, what do they always say? They're like, yeah, I'll sell my house for the right price. Right? Mm-hmm. That's not really motivation. That's like an uphill battle, right? With my sellers, they need to sell the house. We don't even talk about that. I already know they need to sell it. The second thing is that they almost always have 100% equity. So would you rather deal with people that are 120% of what it's worth, or would you rather have people that owe 0? That's obviously the better lead is the one that has high equity. The third thing is that as an investor, we're always looking for properties that we can add value to. It might be clean, but is it grandma clean? Is it dated? Is it ready for the retail market? These are houses that we can come in and update, rehab, and get it ready for the market. So even if it's clean, it's usually dated or full of stuff. And so that's where we can add our value. The fourth thing is that there's less competition. So when I go on these appointments, it's always me versus myself or me versus a realtor, but it's never me versus 10 other investors like it is on the direct mail leads that we get or the pay-per-click leads. It's always me and 8 other guys standing there. And so way less competition. The fifth one I think is probably the most important. If Don and Philip are brothers and we're getting end-of-life care for our mom, we're getting advice from that person, and that person says, hey, call Sally. She's my most trusted buyer in Sacramento, right? Call Sally. She'll come in, she'll buy the house the way it sits. You can take your heirlooms, you can leave the rest. We'll close in 3 weeks. She'll give you a fair price. I trust her. When that person we're getting our mom's end-of-life care from refers us to someone, do you think we're going to listen?
Absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. I mean, we're going to at least get the at bat. I'm not saying you're going to buy the house, but my close ratio is through the roof because those 5 things that we just talked about make these the best leads. And so those 5 things, as if that wasn't good enough, the 6th one is these leads are free. There's not a list you can buy. I wish there was. Hell, I'd be the first guy to buy it. If there was a list you could buy, I would buy this list. But the problem is that you've got the senior living communities, you've got the investor, then you've got daughter Judy. You're really trying to get to the adult child who's helping mom make the decision, and you can't just buy a list of daughter Judys. And so building relationships with the right people in senior living is paramount to you having a continual lead source coming directly to you from now on. And so remember how I said back in 2011, was also working with realtors and investors.
Mm-hmm.
They're great, but the problem with realtors and investors is they're in the real estate business. So it's hard for me to keep their head turned my way, right? They either they start doing it on their own, or they start seeing what we make and they're like, oh, I want to do that too, or they start shopping us around. What I've noticed in senior living though is once Philip's their guy that I solve their problem, they're not in real estate and I fix their problem. They use me as a tool, and I've been doing deals with the same people for 10 years now because you see what I'm saying? I help them make more money with the clients they already have. And so now I'm a piece of their business and they're a piece of my business, and it's sustainable. So
right. They don't want to get into they don't want to get into the real estate investing business. They don't want to get into the realtor and selling business. They just want to resolve the issue so the client has money to pay them for the service they provide. And you become the easy solution for that. They don't have to learn a whole new business. They don't have to chase a shiny object. They get to free up an asset, and the client gets the money, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yep, exactly. And a lot of times they get paid based on occupancy, or they get paid on placing people. Mm-hmm. And so they get their money quicker. Who doesn't want to get their money easier, right?
Right, exactly. So, which is really, really cool and kind of outside the box, because we're always talking about we got to be problem solvers in this business. You found a problem. Now, you have obviously stated, a phenomenal lead at solving a problem, which is seniors, people who have these properties they need to get rid of. The families usually the ones doing the work to resolve the issue on behalf of mom or dad, hence Mom's House, your organization. And this is something probably anybody can kind of do on their own if they're willing to put in a lot of time and effort building relationships and knocking down doors and taking, I get probably months or even years building credibility with these organizations. Or they could go directly probably to and a certain age demographic, but again, they're coming with little or no credibility. What you've done is you've actually set something up where now you can not only break down the doors for them a little quicker, provide the opportunity to have that credibility with that organization a little quicker, but also possibly even provide some lead flow, right?
Definitely. And so we're all smart people if you give it enough time. But back in 2011, I was always just beating my head against the wall because I was an investor. I am an investor. I am a realtor. But it's me, right? And so the problem is that the word investor in our world, we love the word investor. Outside of our world, the word investor a lot of times has the word shark in front of it, right? And so when you're talking about seniors and sharks, that's not good, right? And then if you say, well, I'm a realtor, well, what happens when you hear someone's a realtor? Their crocodile brain shuts off. Everybody knows what a realtor is. That's the way it's been done for 30 years. That's nothing new. So what I learned was you don't position yourself as an investor or a realtor. You ask the right questions to get them to say yes and take them down a path of knowing that they have this problem, and they'll admit it every time. Oh yeah, we have that problem, and I fixed that problem. So now they sit forward in their seat and like, okay, well, tell me more, right? And so this learning curve, there's probably 200 jobs that are in senior living, and I used to take coffees and lunches with everybody back in 2011, but 99% of them didn't give me my leads, but the 9 that I teach you how to find, they've been consistent leads for me month after month, year after year for the past 10 years now. And so I want you guys to focus on those top 9 so that way your time has value, right? So I'm trying to speed this up so people can have success, because I don't think a lot of people are as dumb as me, meaning if they would have been pushed up against that wall, they would have stopped going, and I just didn't stop going. So learn my system, because I'm going to show you how I overcame that to build these relationships the right way.
Right. So we're glutton for punishments. You and I think.
Yeah.
I know you are for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about it, because one of the reasons I wanted to do this live and jump on here, and this is also going to be repurposed into a podcast, is because, like I mentioned a minute ago, this is something people can do. Again, I want to reiterate, if you want to spend a lot of time building relationships, we all know how that goes, really building trust with people and credibility, being able to prove that you can do what you say you're going to do. That takes time and energy. If you want to cut down the doors, break down the doors, cut down the timeline, get a little bit of credibility sooner, start getting lead flow sooner, you've put together a training to make that happen. And it's right around the corner. It's one of the reasons why I want to jump on this impromptu live. Let's talk about that real quick. It's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. And the dates are, was it 25, 26, 27?
26, 27, 28. If you fly in on a Sunday, that'd be great. But the 26, 27, 28, it's a Monday through Wednesday. It's a 3-day live boot camp where we go super deep into those 9 people on how to get yourself into the senior living world, on who to talk to, how to find them, what to say. We have the scripts on what to say. You can imagine a proprietor of a senior living community and a social worker They're both in senior living, but they're very different humans, right? How you talk to a social worker that makes $10 an hour versus how you talk to a multimillionaire who owns a community, that conversation's different, right?
Right.
And so we have the scripts for each of the 9. And we also talk a lot about what not to say. Real estate investors, our world is crockpots, abrasive, fast, numbers, does it work? Senior living world, they're like vases. And so this training is like sensitivity training for the senior living world, for the investors to be able to get their foot in the door and stay in the door. Without it, it's going to be a hard road. And there doesn't need to be. My training's, it's easy to take my training. So here at the end of the month here in St. Louis, we're going to go super deep. We have interviews with people like Fortune 500 CEOs are going to come and be interviewed, right? You can ask your questions. Mr. Don Costa himself is going to be at the training.
I'll be there.
So you guys can borrow a pencil from Mr. Don. You can sit right by him and wear your masks around. We all got to keep our 6 feet. And so
I've got my shots. I hate to admit it because I'm so anti. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm anti-herd. The last thing I want to do is get my shots, but I'm flying literally all over the country. And
we do travel a lot, don't we? Well, yeah. And so people like Don, a lot of heavy hitters are coming out. So it's going to be a great training. I think we're going to have about 40 people coming. So all you got to do is go to momshouse.com/3day. That's momshouse.com/3day. And it'll tell you all about it. It's got the itinerary there. And it's a really cool way to learn about this business and see if you want to be a part of the Mom's House mission is really what we're doing.
And this is something that you actually charged quite a bit for in the past, and this one's actually being offered at a very, very competitive discount. So it's worth checking out.
I'll talk about it. Yeah, you want me to talk about it?
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Up until last month, we were charging $15,000 for this class, and now for $19.97 or $2,000, we're giving you the home study course and 2 tickets to the live event. So my goodness, I mean, the home study itself was $14.97. So for one price, $2,000, $19.97, you get the home study and 2 tickets to the live class. If you can only make it Zoom, you can do Zoom as well, but that's all included in that $19.97. So that's a rounding error in our world. If you don't have the $2,000, it's definitely not right for you, right? This is a small price to pay for the information you'll be getting.
And again, people have paid $15,000 at one point to make this happen. So the lead flow, the opportunity, the door is open. I mean, that's basically, you should be able to make that back, probably tenfold in
on your
one
first
deal. Yeah,
on your first deal, no doubt. And when you'll leave this class, you'll have everything that you need to take action in your own market.
Right, 100%. So I'm going to put your phone number up here before I do. Let's talk about we're talking about doing lead bingo, right? So best lead
bingo. I literally want to play best leads bingo. That is my cell phone number on Don Costa's Live. So everyone, please don't be weird.
Right.
That's my real self. All you gotta do is text me, say, hey, I'd like to put best leads, something about bingo in there. And I will text you my best leads bingo game that I want to share with you, because I want to show you exactly why these are the best leads. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody about it. So just send me a text with anything, and I will text you the best leads bingo right now.
What's funny about that is I'm the first one that's gonna send you a weird picture.
Probably so. At least you're saved in my phone already, so I'll know who it is. So that's good.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this in the podcast, there's obviously not video, so I'm gonna let you know for best leads bingo. Go ahead for the video. You're gonna send people a video, right? A best leads.
I'm gonna send them a video about the game, about how it works. But it's like 6 minutes long. It won't take a long time.
So to get the best leads bingo video, if you're listening to the podcast here via audio, it's 314-537-7445. And that is the phone number, 314-537-7445. And Phil will send you a video on best leads bingo, which look, I have had time to spend with you in many cities. I've been in St. Louis with you a couple times. I've been in Tampa, Florida with you a couple times. You are absolutely a riot and a great guy to hang out with, just for the fun aspect of getting to know Philip and getting to know how genuine and funny and fun he is. This is worth going to for the 3 days in St. Louis. But on top of it, you are one of the hungriest and one of the, I would say most smartest is a word for you, but I would say innovative is probably even better. People I know, you're always looking for opportunities to make money and do it better. And so you're going to obviously drop a tremendous amount of knowledge. And then your business partner is an extremely smart person as well. Who's going to be dropping some value bombs. So from fun to knowledge, this is a group of people that is going to be worth hanging out with, and something worth checking out.
I totally agree. I appreciate having, in fact, Ben just called me right now. So he just kicked me out of this live Zoom. So I appreciate all those kind words. And, we are going to have a lot of fun. One of the things we're going to do on the first night is something called the Taste of St. Louis. And so we're going to do all the delicacies of St. Louis, bring them in house and have some fun together. So
I'll have to check that out because I've been to St. Louis. I would probably say 5 or 6 times now, and I have not had that opportunity. So I'm looking.
We'll bring it to you. You don't have to go anywhere. We'll bring it right to you. It's perfect.
Right, perfect. So all right, we had a couple people say hello. Matt Smith, Penny. We have Ernest here that says hey off of YouTube. So we're on YouTube, Facebook. We're in a few different spots on this.
Cool.
And
hi guys.
Yeah, definitely. So Phil, any last words you want to leave before we jump off of this? Anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, I'll send you the bingo game, but if you want to know more, just go to momshouse.com/3day, the number 3 DAY.
Let's do this because I know this is going to be a podcast too, and I don't want this to seem like it's completely and totally pitchy. We're here to talk about your event. I don't pitch a lot because I just don't, but when I believe in something and I believe in you, I think the world needs to hear about what you have to offer, obviously. But let's throw some value in here because I think it's important to throw some value here. What people also need to know is you've done acquisitions for a long time. You're very, very successful at acquisitions. What's would you say are the top 3 things that you feel made you successful at acquisitions, and maybe the top couple of things that you feel like people do wrong with acquisitions?
Sure. Oh my goodness. They show up unprepared. They show up with not even a business card. They throw their hoodie up. They walk through. They take pictures all along. They even talk to the people. I don't even take pictures when I'm walking through. I'm only talking to the families, right? I'm getting to know them. It's my time to shine, especially when you're on cattle calls, guys. So many people go through and they say, I'll send you an offer. I'll email you an offer in a week. I'm like, what? Why? All that effort, and so I think people don't know how to smile. Just you can disarm somebody before you even get in the door. Just smile, people. Just learn how to, do you think it's a big deal when they sell you their mom's house? You know what I mean? Like, come on, that's their family. That's their life. It's a big stinking deal. For so many people are so transactional and they're forgetting we're dealing with humans. And so mom's house is the hugs and kisses side of this business. But why it's important from a monetary, we're all about money, right? So the next 20 years, there's 21 million boomers. They're going to need to sell their house, and they're doing it way before death. These are not probate. Probate is the small niche. What I'm doing is actually the business. 7 out of 10 Americans over the age of 65 will live in some sort of assisted care before they pass away. That means, guys, they're selling the house before they pass away. The opportunity is before that. And so someone said the other day, you're going to work in senior living whether you want to or not, so you might as well embrace it. And I'm like, that's good. I'm going to use that line. So acquisitions, I think knowing your numbers, the difference between a house that's right on the main drag versus a house that's on the golf course. You might say, well, in this subdivision, they're all worth 480. Well, yeah, but you need to know your numbers. I think rookie investors always say it's a $30,000 rehab. And then I'll pull up and I see it needs a retaining wall, a driveway, and a roof. And I go, I just spent 30 grand and I haven't even got in the house yet. You know what I mean? And so I think knowing your numbers is key. I think a lot of people can run comps, but you need to know your rehab numbers to be successful.
Fantastic. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you one more.
Okay.
But you got it. But when you're standing in front of a seller and seller says, well, Zillow says my house is worth X. Yeah. What's your comeback for that? What's your twist on that? If you know that I mean, obviously Zillow is either retail or top of market or off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I used to say, well, Zillow doesn't buy houses, but obviously that's changed. And now Zillow does buy houses, so that had to change. But even the Zillow offer, you'd be surprised how low they actually get. That they throw a number out there that's lower than the Zillow, then they come out and do it, then it's even lower. So it's not much different than what we do. And so when they talk about the other Zillow numbers, this is where me knowing my comps and what the other houses had. So when I say, your friend, your neighbors, 2 houses down sold for 450, but it also had this, and this. And then like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And it's never, I always like to look at it as I'm sitting on the same side of the table with them. I'm looking at it as options. I'm an option for them. If they want to rehab it themselves, then, here's their options to get to that top dollar. But for me, I'm going to do the thing that they don't want to do. And the reason why, keep in mind, the reason why you're there is they don't want to do it either. They might say we might rehab it ourselves, but they don't want to. These families, when they're going through this, they're fighting over who gets mom's skillet. Do you think that they have the ability to do a kitchen rehab with their brothers and sisters? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they're not wanting to do that at that time. And so just be kind to people, know your numbers, know what you're talking about, and you can have a lot of success.
What you said is do your pre-work and come prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perfect. All right. So I'm gonna throw it out there one more time. Best leads in the business are what I'm gonna call, and I'm sure you've already dubbed this, but it's the um
Probate.
not probate, the pre-probate. Almost lost my words there, but it's pre-probate.
Yeah.
So like kind of like the twist of the pre-foreclosure thing, right? So we want to get it before it goes to auction and pre-foreclosure. We want to get it before it goes to the court system and goes through probate. Here, we want to get it when there's the most value in the property and the family's looking to make a decision what's best for mom and not necessarily what's best for them, right? And
Yep.
so and that's the opportunity to really come in here and make something magical happen for everybody, a win-win situation. So if you want more information, you can always text Phil at 313-537-7445 for the bingo, the best leads bingo, or you can go to, what's the link? Mom's House?
Momshouse.com/3day, the number 3.
3day, and check it out. So, all right, buddy, thank you for being with me today, man. I really appreciate it. And this is cool. I can't wait to talk to you more.
Thanks, Don. See you in St. Louis soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, buddy. Bye.